Hello. On November 7, 2007, just a few months after we got here, this ship, the Costco Busan, hit the Bay Bridge in San Francisco and spilled 58,000 gallons of its own fuel into the bay. This spill spread pretty quickly. So this is after 1 hour, 6 hours, 22 hours. Eventually, it hit more than 100 miles of shore, and it cost more than $100 million to clean it up. It's not a coincidence that probably most of you, when you think about oil spills, you have this kind of image in your mind. In fact, with oil spills, only 10%, this is a global statistic, only 10% of the oil is recovered, 90% goes into the environment. The main problem with oil spill response practices today is that the equipment is heavy, it's really bulky, and it requires a trained crew. So when you have a spill, you need to assemble this crew, put together all the equipment, put it on a boat, and sail to the place that the spill happened. This could be a few days of sailing away. So by the time the crew and the equipment reaches the spill, it's too late. The spill has spread, all the damage is done. Basically, the game is lost. This technology hasn't changed for decades. It has been the same thing. We had a very different idea about what to do and how to treat oil spills. What if you could have equipment that is pre-installed anywhere where a spill can happen, that could be easily and quickly deployed by anyone who's trained in a few hours? Then you could stop the spill in time. So this is exactly what we created. The company was launched here exactly 7 years and a day ago. So I was standing here at the finals of the UC Berkeley startup competition, and we won the first place in the clean tech track, not in the whole thing. And we didn't know that the journey would be really long. So it's really hard to change the oil industry, the oil spill industry. It takes a lot of time. It took us 350 prototypes of the product. It took us 6 years just to get commercial. What we did is we reinvented oil spill response equipment. We made the equipment really light so people can carry it by hand and transport it very easily. Also, we can train people in a couple of hours how to deploy it. So now you can pre-install this equipment anywhere and let the people who are there deploy the equipment first and stop the spill from spreading. We already had experience in a very large spill in Rotterdam last year. In June, a tanker crashed into a jetty at the oil terminal in Rotterdam, and 220 tons of heavy fuel were spilled. Our equipment was proven really effective. It was deployed really fast and with very few people. You can see the picture here. So how does this technology change the world? So the obvious thing is obviously oil handling facilities, oil companies, but I want you to think about other places. So here in this picture, it's a First Nations village on the Arctic Circle. They have these boats, and that's it. If a spill happens from a ship that's going on the Arctic Circle, it will take days until response arrives there. With our equipment, they can store it there, put it on their own boats, and deploy it by themselves to protect their own shores. Similarly, there are many islands and coral reefs around the world that don't have anything right now. When spills happen there, sometimes it takes a few weeks to get the equipment on site. Again, with our equipment, with their own capabilities, they can deploy quickly, this is an example, and protect their own shores and respond to the oil spills. Finally, not sure if a lot of you are aware, but there's a lot of spills in inland bodies of water. So oil that's transported by pipeline or by rail often spills, and it spills into lakes or creeks. With our equipment, you can get to the place very quickly on an ATV, on a pickup truck, on a snowmobile if it's winter, and deploy it quickly to prevent the spill from forming further damage. So We create real-time oil spill response. There's an echo. Our vision is to protect the world from oil spill damage. Our mission is to put our system in every place and pre-position it before the spill happens. There's 100,000 places like that. So that's a big mission. So the big idea is basically moving it from a situation where you're bringing oil spill response equipment and people after the spill to a time where everything will be ready before the spill, so it'll be prepared. Thanks for letting me share the vision. Thank you very much.